Dr. Sima Samar, good morning. It's a great pleasure to have you here at the Graduate Institute of International and Development Studies in Geneva, and a great honor. You're one of the most, I think, visible Afghan women in the world for all your work as a medical doctor first, then a humanitarian worker, but also a human rights activist. So can you tell us in a few words about your trajectory?
Thank you very much, and it's a pleasure to know you, and we know each other, I think, since 25 years at least. Yes, I'm Sima Samar, and I studied medicine in Afghanistan, and then I moved to, when I was a student, the coup d'etat happened, and I moved to our district, Jawhari, for 3 years, working with the people, and then I moved to Pakistan in 1984. I was there as a refugee, and I established a Shuhada organization, which was running hospital and schools for children, for Afghan children in Pakistan, and also established clinics, schools, and hospitals in Afghanistan. So I was there until 2001. Advocating for women's rights, as you know. Then I became part of the interim administration of Afghanistan after the fall of Taliban regime. And I was Minister of Women's Affairs and Vice President for Karzai for 6 months. And then after that, I moved to the Human Rights Commission, and I'm still the chairperson of Afghanistan Independent Human Rights Commission from 2002.
So Afghans are leaving Afghanistan for years now. After almost, we have to say, 40 years of conflict. They were in the 90s the most important refugee population in the world, falling under the mandate of UNHCR. But now they are coming increasingly in Europe. So how would you situate this recent flow to Europe within the broader and longer history of forced displacement?
Well, as you know that we are in war since at least 38 years, and going to be soon 39 years. And with a lot of violent action by the Russian invasion in Afghanistan and war with the Mujahideen, different Mujahideen group, a lot of Afghans were forced to leave the country. We had more than 6 million refugees in Pakistan and more than 4 million, most probably, in Iran. This past 38 years with conflict, different kind of a conflict, the people were moving. But unfortunately, since 2014, again, the flow is, the number of the people who leave the country is very high. The reason is that we had the international forces in Afghanistan, a lot of support by the international community, the PRTs in the different provinces in the country. The PRTs employed a lot of young people.
The PRTs, maybe you have to explain in
yes.
2 words what they are.
Provincial Reconstruction Team. This was a military group of each country, and taking the responsibility of one province. So all these people, they employed a lot of young Afghans as translator, as security provider, and also as logistic, because they were requiring a lot of logistics. So around 600,000 people were employed by these PRTs. By their withdrawal, all those people lost their job. So we do know that we are the second largest refugee after Syrian. Saying this because it's not only Afghanistan, the overall region, there's not a lot of job opportunity. And there's not a lot of clear reduction on poverty, and also not much development. So that's why the people tries to get out of Afghanistan. It's not, the Afghans are not welcomed as they were in early 1980s and 90s in Pakistan and Iran. So the easiest way and the better way, the people think, would be to reach Europe.
As you said, Afghans are the second population of asylum seekers and refugees in Europe now, after Syrians. So, but at the same time, there are only 4 in terms of recognition rate, in terms of getting a protection status. So this discrepancy between arrivals and recognition rate is interesting. So would you say that donors, European countries here, are unable to acknowledge the fact that the reconstruction of the country has been a failure in spite of all the money they sent to Afghanistan?
Absolutely. I think one of the issues that they try to ignore Afghanistan is that they spend a lot of money. They, of course, they sacrifice their lives also in Afghanistan, that we do not forget, and we appreciate that highly. But the overall strategy for reconstruction in Afghanistan was not a united long-term approach. So they are not there to acknowledge that they failed on in their policy, and the withdrawal was quite premature.
Can you describe the current political situation of Afghanistan, especially after the partial withdrawal of the international community in 2014? And how would you assess the situation on the ground, overall, in provinces and including in the capital, Kabul?
Overall, the security situation is not good, unfortunately. Insecurity is increased because of the withdrawal, of course. And we had the three transitions in the 2014. One was the military security transition, which was all the responsibility was given to Afghan security forces, which were still under training and non-fully equipped. The second transition was the political transition from President Karzai and to the unity government, unfortunately. Thirdly, I think the economical transition, because of the withdrawal, because of the reduction on development money and support. That's why the people don't see a lot of hope and a lot of space for democratic transition. And that's why one of the reasons the people leave the country. And Afghanistan is not anymore the one who was in top of the agenda. And I would say that they have not finished the job in Afghanistan. They left Afghanistan with incomplete job.
So you mentioned the word hope. In the past, my feeling was that in spite of the conflict and the violence surrounding everyday life, people believe that tomorrow will be better than today. Do you think it's still the case? And do you think people are still hoping for better tomorrows? Or now hope is gone in Afghanistan?
I think still a lot of people is hoping that it will be some positive movement. But overall, to satisfy the people, you should have, the people should see practical change, positive changes on their daily life. Feel more secure. If you look at the 2015, we had the very brutal extrajudicial killing, abduction of more civilian casualties because of the insecurity, because of more suicide attacks, because of more hostage taking, very brutal cases. And that has really put the people in refraining from the freedom of movement. Although, as you said, during the war, you were going everywhere, and I was going, as you know, that from Pakistan to Afghanistan in a very insecure road. But now it's more dangerous because they are more organized, they are more systematic and sophisticated, I would say, on the violent activity.
So Afghanistan has been described by some people as the worst place on earth for being a woman. In spite of that, I must say I saw many happy families and happy couples. But still, there is no doubt that being a woman in Afghanistan is not easy. So what would you say about the women's situation and the importance of program of empowerment?
I think there's no doubt that the situation in conflict countries are bad for women, and particularly in countries like Afghanistan, where the majority of people are illiterate. And I believe that by empowering women through education, women and girls through education, and give them the possibility to stand for their rights, would be a need and would play a strong role on peace building in the country.